Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel once again. So in today's video we are going to learn about how we can paint some Christmas ornaments or Christmas bulb or bubbles, and I'm going to show you everything step by step. This is going to be simple. Even if you are a beginner, with little practice you can do all these things easily. I'm using this 200 GSM watercolor sheet. I prefer to use 300 GSM, so if you can use 300 GSM it would be better. Now create a round kind of shape with the help of any round object, or you can use any equipment also, and then create the interface between the wire and the bubble, or you can say wire socket or anything, whatever you want to call it. So I'm creating this almost oval kind of shape at the top and creating some rope or wire. I'm keeping this bubble hanging, but you can create simple rope as well and keep it in the floor, something like that also you can do. So this is the basic structure or the basic guideline that we have. Now I want to create some flowers in between also, so I am just defining my flower position so that I can see what kind of composition I'm getting. So I'm creating this small round kind of structure here and there just to see where I can paint my flower. So I think I can paint 3 to 4 flowers here and there, and then rub all the unwanted pencil mark. We just need to see all those markings. We should not have very visible pencil mark. Now I'm using this size 5 round brush. It's simple brush, you can use little smaller, little bigger based on your comfort. And then with the help of pink color I'm creating small flowers with one stroke petal technique. These one stroke technique is simple because you can simply create some flowers with some petals in it. If you don't know about how we can create all these petals with one stroke technique, especially if you are a beginner, I can give you a link into my description section so that you can refer to that video and learn about all these things easily. So let's create all the flowers in the flower area that we have defined for ourselves. You can keep the perspective little bit here and there. So perspective of the flower is totally depend on the size of the petal and the direction of the petal. So if you keep the size of the petal little smaller, little bigger, you will get different perspective. Also direction is important. Now we're done with the flowers. Now let's create the ovary of the flower. So I'm creating small dot of black in the center based on my flower perspective. So it could be oval shape and it could be on round shape, both. And then create small dots around the bigger dot. Now we are done with the flowers. Now let me create some one stroke leaves. So I'm just pushing my brush and moving my brush towards left and right to create all these one stroke leaves. It's very simple to paint, you just need little practice around it. So how much pressure you need and in which direction you want to move your brush, these are the two things is important while creating all these one stroke petals and leaves. So I'm using Sap Green and I have mixed little bit of blue into it to create these one stroke leaves. Now create some more structure into it. So I'm creating few berries with the help of red color. So I'm creating this round structure. This is very simple. You just need to leave one small shiny negative space in between, and that's all you needed while creating all these berries. You can call it flower as well, you can call it berries as well, it's totally fine. Create as number of berries as you want. I'm keeping this much, maybe one I can have here. So I think I'm done with the berries. Now I'm also creating few two stroke leaves. So I'm creating one leaf with the help of two strokes, keeping a fine negative space in between. And my color is blue and I have mixed little bit of sap green in it. So this is more on the blue side, not on the green. And while creating all these leaves, I'm keeping one fine negative space in between. So this is different kind of leaf, but I'm using same one stroke technique to paint it. Now we are done with the flowers and leaves and everything. Now let's focus on the bubble. So create the socket. I'm creating this with the help of blue color. I think this is quite bright, so I'm using black color as well in between. And then you can create rope or wire. So I'm creating this with the help of brown color, but you can use black also. When it comes to the bubble, I think you can directly paint everything like using some color into it, but I am using wet on wet technique. So I'm wetting my bubble area with the help of clean water thoroughly. So go back and forth multiple time with the help of clean water and wetten that particular area. Now you can use any color, but I'm using yellow color for the bubble. So I'm going around the edges and around the corner of the bubble with the help of yellow color. So basically I need a yellow bubble. So I'm going throughout the bubble, but I'm keeping some negative space in between just to get shiny effect in the bubble. This much is enough. Maybe we can add little bit dark shade of yellow color around the edges and around the corner. So I'm going one more time again with little bit dark shade of yellow in it, keeping the middle portion negative. If you end up having all the bubbles with the yellow color, you can use dry and lift technique. So you can dry your brush and lift the color from where you want. This technique is very helpful when you end up having more color into your drawing. So you can dry your brush and just simply lift color from the center part. Now I want to keep the corners little dark and middle little lighter. So this much is enough, I guess. And let it aside, let it dry for some time. Meanwhile, we can write something in here. You can write anything, whatever you like. I'm writing simple Merry Christmas here. I'm doing it with the help of pencil first, and then I'm going to trace everything with the help of pen, brush pen, calligraphy pen, whatever you like to use. So do it slowly because these handwriting is also important to make your greeting card more beautiful. So do it slowly. And I'm using this calligraphy pen, but you can use normal pen as well. You can use brush pen as well. You can use watercolor itself to write all these things. So whatever is comfortable for you, do it. We are almost done with this particular greeting card. I want to do some more into bubbles, so I'm using this metallic color, but this is again optional. If you don't have metallic color, don't worry about it. Just simply create all these things with the help of normal watercolor. But if you have metallic color, add some shiny effect into your bubbles. So I'm adding again the golden color around the edges to make it little dark, and around the corner as well, keeping the middle section little lighter. So again I'm repeating the same thing what we did with the help of yellow color. This time I'm using golden color to make it more shiny. and brighter. And we are done with first greeting card for today's video. Second greeting card is almost similar to the first one. The only difference is we are doing some other kind of elements into it. So let this one keep aside. This is dried, so I'm moving to the second one. So for the second one, again I'm repeating the same thing for basic guideline. I'm creating a round structure, then creating a socket, and then wire or rope like we did for the first one. You can add little variation in the socket area. Now for this particular one, I want to keep the elements simple, so I'm adding few berries on the left side and right side in the upper area, but you can create all these elements wherever you like to. And then these are berries, so holy leaves are also important. I think so we can create few leaves on both the side. You can keep the direction as per your need. So I have created something like this, and maybe you can also add some pine leaves as well. So all related to Christmas. I have already shown you how we can draw all these things step by step in my previous video, so if you want to, you can refer to those video. Now when it comes to berries, again I'm repeating the same thing like we did for the first greeting card, creating this round kind of structure with the help of red color, but keeping one small negative space in between so that we can see some shine in the berries. So this is important thing to do, so do not forget to keep one negative space in between. Now with the help of clean water, just make few more berries at the background. So I'm doing it just to get some different shades of red into it. You can use light red color also to make all these background berries. And then when it comes to the leaves, we are simply creating U kind of structure around the edges to get some spikes, then filling the leaf area with the help of sap green color. Then you can add some other colors in between. My leaf is still wet, so I'm adding some dark green color in between to get some extra shade, and I'm going to repeat this process in all the 4 leaves that we have in our composition. So it is not necessary to draw all these things like I'm doing. You can use your own elements, you can use your own flower pattern, you can use your own flower leaves pattern. All these things you can do, and you can create number of greeting cards inspired by these two, right? You can do number of things. Even you can keep the bubble structure little different as compared to mine. I have used the basic shape of bubble or bulb, but you can use many other shapes that we have learned in my previous video. Now for the pine leaves, I'm using dark green color, and I'm creating all these spikes in a random pattern to get some pine leaf structure, and I'm repeating the same thing for other pine leaves as well. I'm using only tip of my brush to create all these fine spikes, so do it carefully, otherwise you can use smaller brush as well to do this. We're done with the leaves, berries and all. Let me do the socket area. Again I'm using blue color, and I'm going to use black color to highlight the things a little bit and creating the loop or the rope. I think we should add more elements into it, so I'm adding some more flowers with the help of yellow color. So I'm creating one stroke leaf kind of structure to create yellow flowers. So add all these flowers in between, and then you can repeat the same thing for the bubble. So wetten the area first. I'm using light yellow color just to see whether my area is wetted enough or not. And then either you can use watercolor directly, or else you can use metallic color directly. So for this particular bubble, I'm not using watercolor, I'm using metallic watercolor to be precise. And I'm using this blue shade of metallic color, and I'm keeping my sheet little bit tilted so that it flows in that particular direction, because my sheet is wet, that area is wet. And then you can also add some different color, so I'm using this purple metallic color around the edges to get some dark shade. Remember, keep some negative space in between like I have done, and then you can write something like we did for the first one. And then if you feel like you end up having loose flowers and leaves, you can trace things little bit with the help of pen also. So this is optional thing to add more detailing into it, or else you can keep things like that also, it's totally fine. So I'm highlighting few leaves and berries in between, but this is absolutely optional to do this. And we are done with both the greeting card. So hope you have liked this video. Please do let me know if you have any feedback for me, and thank you so much for watching my videos. See you guys in the next video.